Let's keep talking about brie. Isn't brie the best thing ever? I like brie. Do you like brie?
I mean, a good baked brie.
A good the
Brie
movie.
Transition.
That is a transition. The Barbary movie. Oh, excellent. Yeah, I guess.
Hi, Barbary.
Hi, Barbary.
Hi, Barbary.
Hi,
Bye, Barbary.
Anyways, with this, hello and welcome to the AWKWARDCast, where Abby, Y, and Key wonder about random dribble. See, I worked it out.
That was actually pretty good. Woo! Yeah!
Thank you.
Seamless.
This was the absolute highlight of mental capacity you can expect from me today. At some point I maybe should get rid of the brie. Wait, let's go back to dilating
Our
pussy.
fan art for the week is... Oh, okay.
Please just watch this cat hiccuping
exactly.
and people's dilating.
No, I request that the image that we have on screen is something that I think projects our mental states collectively very well once it loads in. Come on,
Okay, it's loading in.
It's still loading. Why is it so slow? Oh, I keep thinking the cat's a still image until
I know.
It's moving in my peripheral.
Is it still
loading?
loading?
It's like when birds. It's like when birds have the pupil
There we go.
constrict and dilate.
I guess we can work with this. It's no art of the... Oh no! I'm zoomed in another tab, so it's very big right now. Let me zoom out and hope that I didn't ruin other tabs. Wait. Go away, kitty. Make space for bleh. For the little bleh.
For a mythical blep.
Blep.
Aww.
What a good boy.
Big bleh. He has big bleh energy.
He is a big blep because he's big and fat.
But yeah, since we haven't had 3 idiots in a hot minute due to scheduling mishaps on all ends. I believe nobody was not guilty at some point. So yeah, we reunited the 3 idiots, and since we realized that neither Key or I have any mental energy, this is basically now the Abbey show. And since it's the Abbey show, please do tell us who you are, what you do, and why people should let you host their personal favorite podcast.
First of all, hi. I'm the Abbey Roadie. I am Chrissy's longtime big sis for the past 15 years about. Yeah, golly, 15 years.
A kid has been conceived, birthed, and in middle school currently.
And is it currently getting their driver's permit in the time that...
Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah. A better thing to think about probably is maybe it's not better, but Kung Fu Panda's 15 years old.
Oh, you know what? That's very fitting since Lauren works at DreamWorks. Seamless.
Yeah. So to all encompass myself, yes, I'm an artist, animator, character designer, storyboard artist, but I work at DreamWorks in production. I'm a production coordinator at DreamWorks in the feature animation department, specifically division, not department, but I'm in the layout department, which if you don't know, TLDR on layout, we get to visualize the film in 3D. We turn the storyboards into 3D in that department, or at least the artists do. I wrangle the cats and making sure everybody's on task with things. This is where you are a benefit.
The reason why things get done.
Yeah, it really truly takes a village. Albeit a small village, it would be a supervisor, the heads of department, and a coordinator and a prod assistant to all wrangle all the artists to get everything done. But fortunately, I work with very, very prompt and timely people that they all get their stuff done on time. But it is a little bit of cat wrangling in terms of how fast production moves and making sure you're communicating with all departments, upstream and downstream. That's the long, wordy version of saying I'm a very busy bee.
I just realized that the entire why should people care question is probably We rarely had
Actually,
that impactful of a reason to care. Like, yeah, if you like DreamWorks movies, if you want to see your next Kung Fu Panda come out in time, this lady here.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, next time we need to get a brain surgeon or something on this show to be like, why should we care? It's like, well, without me, no brain work good. Like,
yeah, but yeah, so it's no spoiler. I guess because it's been a while since I've been on here. God, when was the last time I was on Awkward?
I could
Was it in the time?
out.
God, was it
probably
when
last
I was
year.
sometime last year? Yikes. So yeah, I can't remember if I started at DreamWorks before the last time I was on here or after, but either way, it's no secret that I'm working on Kung Fu Panda 4. That's already been announced.
Oh, I was just throwing out a random title there.
No, I'm like it wasn't. I mean, it was absolutely on purpose that I did bring up Kung Fu Panda's 15th anniversary. But yeah, it was but that's as much as I can confirm to anybody, because I mean, yeah, there's some general plot details that are out in press releases, official ones, not the rumor mill ones. No, Poe and Tigress are not going to kiss in the next movie. I'm sorry to the
worst movie 0 out of 10 would not
Why
watch.
do studios fear the interspecies relationships? Are you
Well, I mean,
scared?
it's like
you
if
cowards?
you read the synopsis in the press releases, you can tell that there wouldn't be any room for that kind of story anyway.
I don't know. I don't know how much I believe you, Miss Kissing.
Go watch Legends of Awesomeness if you want any tension.
No, here's the thing. Let me tell you guys a little thing about Lauren here. Do not mind the knife; it's unrelated.
That's for me.
When Ruby Gilman, I keep wanting to say Gillum.
Whoa.
When Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken came out, me and her were talking about it, mostly ranting about people being dumb on Twitter, of course. And I was saying, like, people don't understand the discrepancy between the marketing people and the creative people. And I was saying, it shows that the movie could be interesting because the one clip that came out at the time, which was Ruby and the Ariel-looking one,
Chelsea,
talking in the bathroom, has, like, drummed up so much stuff. And Lauren was like, yeah, I mean, I've seen people draw so much ship art of them together. They don't know what they're in for. And I was like, Lauren, what do you mean by that? And then she just...
I was like, no, you gotta go see it. I'm not saying anything.
She was changing the subject. And it's like, Lauren, what do you mean by that?
It's the Jennifer Lawrence. What do you mean? What do you mean?
States' rights to do what? State rights to do what? Just...
But I checked the database, and I could have talked about Log Horizon. Anyways, so last time Abby was on was almost exactly a year ago on the 31st of July.
Wow, we are consistent.
Shoot.
I wonder if
that's what happens when you get into production, guys. That's what happens when you get into production. You're a very tired girl.
But yes, we got Lauren, production coordinator, character designer, owner of the Ultimate Good Boy Phelps,
and the
most important title of all, Zenigata fan. That's
yes, professional Zenny. Can we make you business cards as just professional Zenigata fan?
Sim.
Yeah, why not?
No, not Sim.
No,
yeah,
not
fun fact
for
those who don't know, it's literally in my bio that I make prints for Doug Erholtz. Hey, that's the cool Ghibli style cat that I made once.
Yeah.
It was based on one of those viral photos of when they said they looked at the cat and it said, this looks like a character in a Ghibli movie, and I did it. But yeah, no, I have
just click on the Twitter.
Where's the Twitter?
Follow her.
There's no Twitter here. I can't just click on it. I need to find her first.
Just Here's the link.
Yeah,
to
I
her
have
Twitter.
here's the Twitter.
Yeah, there you go. Doug Airholtz, who is the English voice of Zenigata.
Huh.
He's also that angry cat that was helping Retsuko's campaign in the last season of Retsuko.
He was not a cat. He was a sugar glider.
Very important.
Very important, because I mean, I made the false guess, or actually, yes, I made the false guess that I think Spade and I both did that his character was a Sphinx cat. No, it was a sugar glider, and I looked at the markings again and went, "Oh yeah, that's a sugar glider. My bad."
It gives me the energy of watching Vivo, and everyone thinks Vivo's a monkey when he's actually
it's a kinkajou.
A Gesundheit.
Yeah. But yeah, it's it's fun. It's fun, an absolute delight to work with Doug Airholtz, because he comes up with insane, fun ideas for things, and I love making them a reality. So there's that.
So I guess we kind of just meshed the "what have you been up to recently" with your introduction, didn't we?
I mean,
yeah, more or less.
I guess. Oh, okay. I got an important question for you that would probably has Phelps had any diva moments recently? You gotta. It's been a year since you've been on this. People need the update.
Well, if they haven't been sitting in on 3 Idiots, then they've been missing out on updates. But anyway,
yes.
Then they have been missing out in general.
He's edging into August, which would be the month that he turns 15. Bless him. I want him to make it to 15. But my poor baby boy, he's lived longer than I think most Cavaliers do. And he's not a fan of the heat at all.
I can't imagine.
He constantly needs ice water. Constantly needs ice water. He did have a haircut recently. He had the best bandana I think I've ever seen him, because we have a groomer that comes in and takes care of him, gives him one-on-one attention, because it's very stressful to put a dog into a groomer, to go to a dog groomer where they're surrounded by other dogs.
You sent me a picture with this really good bandana.
It's like a bandana that has pineapples and flamingos and tropical plants on it. It's like my favorite because it's absolutely my aesthetic. It's very cute. And
I love this image. He looks so confused.
But yeah, I'm like, his ears, I mean, they haven't worked for a long time now. We're praying that his eyesight holds on a little bit longer.
I mean, look at those eyes. They see everything.
But he's being a good boy. He's just a very tired boy a lot of the time.
I mean, I would be too in this heat. He's a fancy boy.
So that's why we need a fan on him, and we need ice water in his bowl constantly. Like, he doesn't even really have an inclination for treats. He just wants ice water. So
I mean, best treat of all in this heat. We need to get him like a fancy margarita glass, just a
pagarita.
A pagarita, yes.
A barkarita.
They always have those puppuccinos at Starbucks. They need to make pupparitas, which is just shaved ice.
I saw it the other day on TikTok. There's a recipe that you can do to make a doggy margarita, and I have to find it.
That's amazing. I've been following a TikTok that's been it's a little dachshund, like a wiener dog, and this woman just makes the wiener dog food, and it looks like fancy real people food, but it's made out of
but it's actually dog friendly foods that are good for them.
And sometimes she puts a little bow tie on him so he looks fancy having his meal and his cocktail, which is usually just bone broth.
Yeah, they'll make they did one that was pizza. I think they said it was pizza and beer.
Mm-hmm.
And they made the pizza where it's got it's all the ingredients that are good for a dog. So, and it had some raw ingredients that are good again for a dog to have. But then the beer, to make it look foamy and stuff like that, it was a bone broth beer. beer. That was served in a little beer glass that he like drank it out of. It's cute.
If reincarnation is real, I really hope that I reincarnate into a dog that is owned by one of these types of people, because I would live in the lap of luxury.
There's the other dog, the Shiba Inu, that gets like spa days every day.
Oh yeah, where they're always just
they get the little moisturizer on the nose and the little head massager, and
when
they
they
get their
lay
ears
them down
cleaned
on the
out.
pillow, you just hear.
It's this.
That is great. Now you guys have a glimpse at the normal conversations me and Lauren have, which is, "Hey, have you seen this TikTok dog? Yeah!"
That's why I tell people when they're not on TikTok, I'm like, I'm sorry, but once you get it, if you get yourself into it, I promise you, it'll become your like little, like, here's my little dose of happy. Okay, and then now I'm done.
Everyone has that one dog that appears on their TikTok. Everyone has a minion, or the fucking woman who has 8 wiener dogs.
Have you gotten Pearl's ragdolls on your TikTok?
Yes.
I love Pearl's ragdoll. Okay, so context, guys. Pearl's ragdolls is this girl who raises ragdoll cats, and she has tons of kittens, and they are the cutest things ever. And beautiful blue eyes, like toasted marshmallow looking cats. They're so cute.
Or the most important thing, that how you know that the week is starting, because I am of the firm belief that Monday is the start of the week, not Sunday, like a fucking monster, is, when it's Monday and Gandalf gets to lick a graham cracker, which is her favorite.
Yes. It's his favorite activity.
This is live brain rot. But anyways, I feel like we have kind of gone into our own land while Max plays with Legos in the background, so we should reel it back in.
I wish I had some Legos to play with.
We've got time.
You seem like the type who would get Lego sets.
I mean, I owned like literal boxes full of Lego, like pirate boxes to the brim full of Legos, but at some point when I moved out, I left them behind. I believe they eventually passed on to one of my nephews, but I'm also not sure if they are still.
What you need to do is steal from your nephew.
Sounds about right. But then again, I'm not sure how ferret-friendly Lego are.
No, here's the great thing. You get a... Follow me on this. You get like a spaceship or a pirate ship Lego set, you assemble it, and then you get Rocket a little pirate hat. And now because if you get the Lego sets that are big enough, the ferret can go on it, and you would get to see such funny pictures.
It is very tempting.
And also, most Legos, like when you put them down, they're hard to pull apart. I doubt a ferret has the mouth force to really pull apart a Lego set, unless it's like the really thin parts at the top. But even then,
really the kind of creature who eats and inhales a lot of random stuff. So
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Get Rocket a Lego set, aka get yourself a Lego set for Rocket to climb on. You had me at give Max's ferret a hat. See, I have good ideas.
He technically owns a head, a tie, and a little bow tie.
Well, he needs more. What is an animal if they don't have a wardrobe?
We got the bow tie in Japan, actually. So.
Aww. And what? They didn't have little ferret kimonos? That would have been adorable.
They have a little ferret futon, which
I know. I've seen that one.
Yeah.
But yes. Anyways. Moving on. But Lauren, amongst the things you've been doing, I heard you saw a movie recently.
Yay, it's the media portion, yes.
Oh, the media... Wait, it's the right one? No, this is the wrong one. The media portion!
So let's make it super easy. Miraculous Ladybug, the Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir just came out on Netflix. Yes, it has been out in theaters, in overseas theaters, but it was only on Netflix here. But they did release it on Netflix this weekend. I got to watch it. And I think all of us here have all been a long time. Baby
in little ferret futon.
It looks like he's in an envelope that is just opened up.
But it is a futon. I don't want to angle it too much.
I know. I'm just saying it looks like when you open up an Amazon package and he's just in there like, hello? Hello?
But yeah, anyway, sorry, that was a tangent. Anyway, but it was a very a reasonable tangent. Anyway, so the premise of the Miraculous movie, for those who don't know, if you have been following the show, this may be a little confusing for people who have been following the show for years, like the three of us have. Because it's like it's basically a what if situation, an AU of sorts. This is if the rules were different, if the origins were. It's a fan fiction, honestly, but it handles so much way better in 90 minutes than it's been handled in 5 seasons of a show.
I mean, it's funny. I mean, given how much down among the up and downs there was throughout the show, it's just leave a lot of the downfalls out. But yeah, please do tell.
Yeah, like for those who have been following the show, it does have like obviously has your Easter egg like cameo characters that show up in the background, or Marinette runs past him at some point. Like Luca does show up in there. Luca's the best character in the entire show. Don't at me.
I agree. We watched some episodes recently, and there was a Luca one where Luca's like, this would help if Cat Noir was here. It's like, oh my god,
he's the only one that's aware of all of this, and it's like, but he's also good because he knows that even if he knows all this stuff, he knows to keep it secret, but to give the nudges to the heroes when they need them. So no, he's a good, reliable boy. And but yeah, for the movie itself, yes, they handle the origins differently for Marinette and Adrian. Adrian actually is given a little bit more freedom in this movie. Like he's not, at least not as obviously tied down being a model for, his dad's fashion line. I'm
it's just Max. What are you talking about? Oh.
I'm gonna want to keep staring at him.
Oh, well, there
anyway.
He goes.
I'm gonna. Anyway. Yeah, there's a whole lot of like, I guess you could say, canon changes for this. Again, like I said, it's an AU of sorts. That Adrian isn't as tied down and being locked away by his dad like the show. But he is still a very lonely child that doesn't have a whole lot of friends, despite being a popular kid, I guess you could say. He really is kind of more isolated still. Marinette is
an abuse victim in this movie.
No, he's more like he is, though. He still does feel neglected and ignored by his father, who constantly keeps himself busy with his work. But what I will say is that Marinette is handled a whole lot better, especially in terms of her having a crush on Adrian. It's not done as it's extreme, and in the show it's done more innocently and sweet, like a regular teenager would.
Not a creepy stalker.
No, it's the shy, very pulled into herself, but also kind of going like she wants to put herself out there to try and because there's the whole like winter ball, she wants to invite him to the winter ball, that kind of thing. So but yeah, especially in how they handled Gabriel's character in this version, I like so much better. Also, both Adrian and Gabriel are theater kids, 100%, down to the core. So also this movie is a musical, by the way. There's a lot of songs. Apparently Jeremy Zag composed all the songs in this movie, and they're good. I'm
Santa Claus.
No, we don't have
Christmas
Santa
special.
Claus.
No.
This is like there is a beat where I know that I think I linked it to you earlier. There was a beat in one of the songs that a lot of people said, I need to go back in time and stop Hamilton from happening, because it's very reminiscent of that. And I kind of thought that a little bit, but it goes by pretty quickly. So you don't really, and that's only one tiny part of a song that I go, yeah, that's a little, it's been overdone now by this point, but whatever, it's just, I'll brush past it, it's fine. I still say whether I think if you've been watching the show a long time, my overall thing is please give this a watch. The animation's gorgeous, by the way. They did a phenomenal job with the hair, the clothing textures, the environments. Like, Paris is gorgeous. Look at this animation.
There's actually more than 12 people at a time.
And it's not split up among, like, 7 studios. It's like, so you can tell which animation's being done at which. But but this is gorgeous animation, gorgeous rendering. And I mean, it's truly the treatment that this deserves, especially for something that goes the musical route. There's a lot of really pretty visuals for this. Yeah, Hawkmoth gets a villain song. That's not really a spoiler if you've seen some of the stuff on TikTok or whatnot.
Wait, Hawkmoth is the villain?
Oh, wow. Spoiler. But I mean, like,
spoilers.
He actually gets to sing, unlike
it's actually Keith Silverstein singing.
Yeah, unlike the last time where they had the show have. Unlike in the show when Hawkmoth did get a villain song, they were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna dub that part." So enjoy, English children, as you watch this guy dance to random French. Yeah, I'm like. I give Keith major props. Okay, but if you also, though, if you are watching this in the English dub, when Marinette and Adrian sang, they use the original voice actors that sang for, like, the theme for the show in French. They use those voice actors, or at least those singers, for their singing voices. So it sounds very different. It's not Christina V singing. So this voice changes dramatically. Bryce Papenbrook singing.
And it's not Bryce. I mean, they do. It is somewhat of a closer match, at least, but I get why they chose to do it, because it's a nice nod to the origins of the show and tying it back into the theme that everybody knows and loves. And so I'm like, you kind of, after a while, you kind of just go, okay. After the first song, maybe you go, okay, I'll roll with it. But the movie, genuinely, I say give it a watch, because I don't want to spoil everything else of where you. That's not my point. I'm selling it to you as this is something you should check out, especially if you feel like the show didn't give you enough for the past 5 years. You're not going to be toyed around with a freaking love square. You're not going to be pulled around by this and that drama. This is meant to be superhero origins. They're out there to save Paris, with a little bit of that family drama on the side. But that's all you need for this. Yeah. And then they very much want to make a sequel for this too, which I would like to see as long as it doesn't take a million years to make. I would like to see it.
No, not only did they confirm that there's a second movie, they confirmed that a third movie just got greenlit for it.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So please watch this one. And I promise you,
if good AU is getting 2 more movies.
Yeah,
more movies like this, with this continuity. I like this. Keep more of this going.
One more important question: given that the character designs, especially of the villains in the show, are a Russian roulette of quality, How do the akumatized villains in the movie watch? Did they just limit themselves to the good-looking designs, or actually did they pull off some originals? How is a monster?
I will say I am a little critical of the akumatized enemies here, because 2 of them are just like color-shifted versions of their normal selves. Like, they have a girl that's a magician, and her hair comes bright red when it's actually, like, pink outside of that. And there's a mime whose skin turns purple, and that's about it. The most extreme is there's a guy that, if you've seen the trailers, which, I mean, it kind of showed, I think, in there, there's a gargoyle. There's a guy that gets akumatized into a gargoyle.
So all original new villains, basically.
No Pigeon
Yeah, because
Man?
Otherwise... Huh?
No Pigeon Man?
No Pigeon Man. The mime is about
ever.
Yeah, and like, you got the mime, you've got the magician, and you've got the gargoyle. The gargoyle stuff is fun, though. I think it's because, again, it's when you have something that's akumatized, and it goes more beastly, rather than just being a human alt or something like that, or a person in a costume. It's all skin. It's the I like the ones where they actually turn into more of a monster because it makes it harder to pinpoint, what do we do about fixing this problem? It's not as obvious as a prop. It's not as obvious as an item of clothing. If it's a beast, what do you do with that? So I think it's been fun. I think it was fun to watch this one. There's it's going to have its flaws no matter what. But I think it's like, for what it is, I am so much happier with this than what I got with 5 seasons of this show. So please go watch this, go support it, and we will get more of this better continuity, in my opinion.
Does it mean we can stop watching the show on TV time? Oh.
No. The best endorsement that I heard about this movie was when I looked it up on Wikipedia, and I saw the first piece of trivia was Thomas Ostruck and writers for the TV, and none of the writers of the TV show. None of these people were involved with the film. So,
and you can tell because none of that bullshit is there.
It's not shit. Because Thomas Ostruck is a hack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also to answer the question in the chat, Magical Star Flash says, "Is that blonde bitch a character in the movie, the one that picks up Marinette?" Yes, Chloe is in there, but she is not a dominant character. She is there just to be a bully every now and then. But spoiler alert, she's really not that big of a threat, especially when Marinette is thrust into the superhero role.
You are telling me not a single of the akumatized people was caused by Chloe?
Yeah, isn't that something? She's not the cause of every problem.
Oh my god!
We
can't do any of the drinking game stuff for this movie.
Oh, we can do the drinking game and then be completely sober at the end and be like, what did we just watch?
I will say, for the character dynamics, like in terms of not the dynamics, but so much the relationships, they make it's a little confusing as to did Marinette just move to Paris and she's starting new at this school? Because it makes it sound like that, but she knows Chloe and she knows all these people. So I'm going, why would she be ashamed to go back to a school? She is like, oh, people, I don't have any friends, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's very unclear if she's new there, relatively new there, or if she's been there a while. Because, I mean, and then Alia's there. Yeah, she shows up, but then it's like...
Alia the new kid? Isn't that...
Yeah, she's supposed to be, or at least in the show, she was a new kid. It's not really established if she's a new kid in the movie. She just shows up, and then is like, we'll be friends. Okay. And Nino having the crush on Alia, which that's not a spoiler, that's in the show. It's very much kind of just there. He talks about, oh, I'm a love expert, blah, blah, blah. And then the moment Alia shows up, he's like, hi, Alia. And I'm going, did they know each other before this? It wasn't established if they did, if Alia's new.
I guess
it's a little confusing on those parts, but...
I guess it's not important for a 90-minute movie, especially since this is an AU of sorts.
But it was just a little confusing on...
You mean an SU?
Steven Universe?
Superior Universe.
Is that the...
AU, alternate universe, SU.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, that was a cool epic joke and put on your deal with it glasses, and that's why you had your glasses off.
No.
But anyway. Also, shout out to the English VAs. They always have fun with this show, but to hear them actually be able to bring on even more of the dramatics in this movie, and then have, it's such a fun movie that I'm like, shout out to the English voice actors for. The ones all the ones that were able to come back for their roles in this. No, they did a fantastic job with it. So it was nice to hear their voices being lent to a plot line that I like so much better than what we got in the show.
Wow.
Bummer is that you don't get Jagged Stone or anything in the movie. It's
no
kind
Lex
of a bummer.
Lang for you today.
There's no Lex Lang. I'm sorry, guys.
Look, there's two movies apparently coming at some point.
So Jagged Stone will come at some
your
point.
Your Goemon, Jagged Ishikawa in there. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, but it's a great start for something that I'd like to see continue. Anyway, long ramble done. go on to the next piece of media. Let's go.
All right. Hey, Max, you said that you finished something recently.
Yeah. Let's sandwich it in between because mine will definitely not hold the conversation as long and as enthusiastically as Ladybird. Not because it's bad, but it doesn't really lend itself so well to going on. So I watched Netflix's Midnight Mass, which is what is it, eight episodes or something, an hour long, maybe 9, I don't know. And it has a pretty conclusive ending, so I dare to say it's probably not going to get more, which is fine, because, nowadays, being willing to conclude a story
it's literally listed as a mini-series.
Okay,
so
perfect.
So
what's going on there? So, this show, Tagged as Horror, you see there's a lot of atmosphere, and this is mostly one of the big selling points, I would say, that it has pretty good atmosphere going on there. You see that it's also, as you already see with the imagery, like church, priest, and the title, Midnight Mass. So the show is pretty much also centered around, it's taking place on a small fishing community island off the coast, where weird stuff starts. It's happening. Like the first episode ends with dozens, if not hundreds, of dead cats being spilled on the shore of the island. So there's some messed up stuff happening. But so the story is that basically a couple of newcomers arrive on the island. So a very, I believe, the little thingy in the front is Protestant priest, right? This is a Protestant priest.
No, that's Catholic.
Oh, that's it could be. I don't know. This if so, then it's American.
Where does the neck piece?
No, I mean the pastor in Simpsons.
It's the collar.
Yeah, the pastor in The Simpsons has it too,
Oh yeah,
right?
no, it is Protestant.
Okay.
Protestant.
But yeah, so now we have the priest arriving. We have the long lost son who got away from the island coming back after killing somebody, drunk driving, and basically ruining his career. Now coming back as a sober alcoholic, living with his parents on this backwater island, which is just a dying fishing island. So, as in, like, the fishing industry is dying down, and so it's a very miserable place to be. But in the heart of all this, you have the little chapel of St. Patrick with the new priest who is trying his best, and with this lead-in, I should probably also clarify, if you are a stout religious person and don't enjoy the Christian church being displayed in a very critical light, this might not be your show, because you have
why are you watching AWKWARDCast if you're that type of person?
I guess so.
Exactly. I'm like going, I think you're in the wrong place already if you're going to be like, and this is coming from somebody who was raised in all of the, I wasn't like Catholic, I was baptized Serbian Orthodox, but was raised in Christian schools, all that kind of stuff. So if anything, I'm Bibled out. So we all know, I know how this all goes, but I can still look at the criticism of it and be like, yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware of that.
But yeah, this was actually how I got made aware of the show. I mean, I saw it popping up on Netflix in the recommended, but I never paid attention until a podcast was pointing out, or not a podcast, some kind of show was pointing out that, those fundamentalist Christians, there's a pretty good depiction of how those guys work and think and operate in this show. And I wasn't even aware that it was a horror show, so I was just like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. So I started watching it, and I was like, oh boy, there's some supernatural shit going on. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the thing is basically, to give a little bit of a teaser of what it goes like, now you have the dry alcoholic who is also lost his face long ago, and his face crumbled even more after going more into nihilism after, well, becoming an alcoholic, killing the person, questioning all the senselessness of it. And then you have the priest who's like, yeah, but let's start our AA meeting with a prayer anyways. And it's like, And well, let's just say that the religious community, and especially the local zealot, is causing the horror situation to escalate even further.
A little bit.
A little bit. So I'm not going into anything further, because for me it was didn't see this one coming when more of the horror elements get revealed. So I don't want
spoil things.
Exactly.
This actually sounds like my cup of tea.
Yeah, that's why I'm not giving anything away beyond the genre tag that I overlooked when I started watching it, and then I was like, So yeah, but a very interesting spin, and again a very religious critical one. I mean, it gives. I was about to say, if it gives a little bit of redemption about good motivation, good positively motivated people at the end, but overall I'm not sure. It's a solid criticism in there for sure. So yeah, who would watch it? I mean, people who were already intrigued by my elevator pitch and are already putting it to their watch later list, like he is doing as we speak. Who should not watch it if what streak? Don't miss Max's atheist streak awakening. I'm one step away from. Do I say it? Do I not say it? No, I mean, no, I can't not. I mean, I'm one step away from joining the TST, so I have been atheist so long. Anyways, yeah, if it was intriguing, go ahead and watch. If you are very sensitive, however you made it here, if you are very sensitive to having Christian fundamentalism being called out for its risk potential, still watch it, because you really need to learn your lesson. But if you don't like horror, don't watch it. It's like a lot of there's no barely any comic relief, if any. I'm trying to remember if I had a single chuckle throughout. At some point, it's very it's like 8 episodes of like not depressing but tension and just people being miserable, and then horror starts happening and it gets worse, and you're just like, those poor people.
So what you're saying is it's fun for the whole family.
Absolutely. Get your kids involved.
Also, I was chuckling earlier because when you were like, oh yeah, it's horror, my brain went to spooky, scary Protestants sending shivers down your spine.
I mean, are we wrong? Are you saying we're wrong?
I just want the spooky, like the skeleton dance thing, but with the fucking collar.
Animators, get on it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, this leaves only one media, I believe.
Oh god.
There you go.
Yay!
Anyways, hi guys.
It's himbo time.
It's himbo time, guys. So, me and Max has started watching My Adventures with Superman, which is the new Superman animated series that I think was going to air on like HBO Max and then they were like, no, we're gonna put you on Adult Swim. It's one of the 2 newest like PG-13 Adult Swim shows, that and Unicorn Warrior,
which is like wow.
The why? Because Adult Swim starts at 6 p.m. now, so they need beginning content.
It's called Adult Swim.
I think this show is fine for adult. Adult does not.
Adults are enjoying it.
Have sex and
therefore,
like
it's so cookie cutter.
I'm perfectly fine with more young adult shows, especially in animation. We have so many where it's either you are a Family Guy or you are for preschoolers. We don't have an in-between. I mean, we've made an in-between with Bluey, but that's not because of the content of the show. It's because we're all very, very sad millennials.
It's true.
But no, My Adventures with Superman, basically, it is basically an origin reinterpretation. I mean, you still have the basics of Clark is, came down from space in his ship as a baby, gets raised in Smallville, and now he is in Metropolis as an intern for the Daily Planet with his friend. Why is his name escaping me?
The photograph, Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen, yes. Him and Jimmy, who are roommates. Oh my God, they were roommates. And they are new interns who are guided by the head intern, Lois Lane. And during all this, you get basically Clark becoming Superman. There's a whole scene in the pilot of him getting the costume from the mothership and everything, and him learning new powers and all this kind of stuff. And the show's weird. Like, there's things that I like about it, but I totally understand some people not digging it.
Stop looking at me. The second episode was okay.
See, I feel like that there is a certain expectation for the show that hasn't been met yet, in that it feels like maybe there should be some more things happening. I view it as the show as a slow burn, which I'm down with. But like, one thing that I can give the show, I really love their precursors to Superman villains, and how the Superman villains become the way that they are. Because they have one for Livewire in the pilot. We see our first shot of Deathstroke, which did not expect the design for Deathstroke to be Anime Boy, that is voiced by Jerry Smith from Rick and Morty, but it works. I got spoiled on an establishing for two villains that's in the episode we haven't watched yet, so I'm not going to say it, but wow. And also for smaller characters like Mist and all that stuff in the third episode, with like, a lot of it is stimulated by they have technology, and then something bad happens with it, so the powers kind of get imbued in them. But, I mean, I think that works really well. The animation's fantastic. This show looks so good. And it just always looks good. It's not like Invincible, which is a show that I like, put pitchforks down, which has some great looking scenes, but you can't deny that sometimes the show looks really bad. In that, like, nothing's animated sometimes. Hopefully they fix that in season 2. But like, the show looks great. I love the design for Lois and Jimmy in this show. They all look great. I love this Superman. He's such a good boy. Like, he fixes a lot of my criticisms with a lot of current Supermans, in that there's so many Superman interpretations recently that don't make him a Boy Scout, which I feel like is missing the point of Superman, because that's the whole thing with the trifecta of the main people of the Justice League, of Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, is that Superman is supposed to be, a foil, especially to Batman, and how they view ethics and stuff like that. You don't really get that when a lot of the most recent Supermans have just been Batman but blue. Like, also, I love, this is in the pilot, I love that they have the first Superman costume Clark wears is very much based off the Man of Steel design. And then his mom brings him inside and puts the red tights on him, so that way it looks like classic Superman, which I think is great. That's funny to me. But also Jack Quaid plays a really good Superman. I have no qualms with the acting in the show. It's really good. I really like this Lois Lane. I think she's it reminds me of a lot of like the 70s Lois and Clark relationships, like literally from the show Lois and Clark, in how they interact with each other, which I really do enjoy. A lot of most recent interpretations of Superman and Lois are already together, so we haven't been blessed a lot recently with the beginnings of their relationship as much as we used to get. So it's very much welcome for me. Jimmy being a conspiracy theorist is great. Love it. Mwah, mwah, mwah. But yeah, my criticism of the show, it's slow moving. Like, it very much has the monster of the week energy because it's establishing the origins of a lot of new villains. And if the show was able to go for a darker rating, it could possibly do some visuals a bit more extreme. But, you know, maybe that's the separation between me and other people that watch, especially the DC animated universe, which does get gory and very action-packed from time to time, is I kind of am glad to get the vibes of that I used to get watching Justice League. Because there's a lot of Justice League series moments that aren't very heavy action. It's very ironic given a superhero who could fucking fly, down to earth. And I think I just enjoy having that energy again. It's very nostalgic to me, in a show again, because it's a Superman show. I want it to be a bit lighter, you know? To me, the crux of Superman things and the crux of a lot of superhero things that I feel like we miss is the fact that superhero comics were soap operas. That's what they were. That's what the comics were fucking based on. And it kind of just feels like that. And I'm like, cool, I can watch my stories. Yes, the slow burn and that kind of stuff of it can and will be a turnoff. If you came into this wanting just a bunch of anime fight battles with Superman, you're not going to get that. If you want a good young adult Superman where Superman's actually a good boy, this is exactly for you. And if you want reinterpretations of how these villains became super villains, because it seems like superheroes are not a big concept yet in this universe, because there's no mention of a Batman or an Amazonian or anything yet. Like, I don't even think there is a Justice League yet in this universe.
From what we can tell, Superman is literally the first alien, period.
Exactly. So there's still stuff to be built on, which I find that's always a thing I look forward to with origin things like this. There's so much to see what it's going to be. And with how they establish certain villains now, I'm kind of like, okay, at some point you have to introduce Bruce Wayne. How the hell are you going to do? Because he's going to be a young man like Clark is. Because Clark, keep in mind, they're like college students. Yeah. At this point, is it Bruce Wayne still fighting monks or whatever? So, like, we could see how this works out. How young is Lex Luthor in this show yet? Because, like, Lex and Superman aren't that far apart in age. I know the balding makes you think that it is,
I mean,
but
so far,
really not.
It once again, in most interpretations, so gonna see how they handle it here.
Yeah, so I really am enjoying this. I'm also kind of like, I really want to see where this goes, because it's so, like, innocuous right now, and I don't mean that as an insult. It's just, like, it's literally like the first season of most shows that I have watched recently with, like, Disney shows, where it's like, oh, this is cute, and then it builds and builds and builds. I just really hope it doesn't crumble and fall apart in the Family Guy death pose like Star Versus did, and it just gets better and better like Gravity Falls did. So, like, you know, here's hoping.
Also, I'm really tired of seeing the comments. This is just, she looks like Luce. She looks like Luce. I'm like, I'm tired of the Lois is Luce shit, okay? I'm like, also, really tired.
Also, she's Korean.
Yeah, I'm like,
this is Dominican. So, like, shut up.
I'm like, I feel like that says more about the people that are pointing out that, I think it says more about them than the design itself.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. I'm happy to see more tomboys in the media. We need more representation. We are But yeah, so like, oh yeah, darker skinned, gender non-conforming female on show must be loose.
I like what I've seen of. I mean, I know everybody's been throwing their fits about the recent Lois
No
debate.
spoilers.
I'm not spoiling anything. But what I can say, of what I've seen teased in clips so far, of their dynamic, of Clark and Lois in this show, is absolutely precious to me. I'm like, and then it's been feeding all of the himbo memes, and like the size difference. I love it.
I know. They are so...
I love the size difference.
Lois and Clark are so fucking cute in this show. They should just kiss already, but Jimmy keeps getting in the way. But yes, I really like the show. Honestly, I mean, I said the things that I think may turn you off, but again, this is my assumption because this show is very comfortable to me. So I don't know. You would have to ask someone who's not enjoying this show what they don't like about it. But luckily,
we are allowed to have adult shows that are comfy and cozy.
You have somebody here. Now here's the thing.
Okay.
I mean, all the positive things that Key said, yes, agreed. My main thing is that probably just overall tone that basically, especially the first episode, everybody seems to be a little bit hit with the idiot stick. Like, I mean, I'm not just wasn't in the chat or something with Lois is acting like Lois always acts. Yeah, Lois being reckless, I don't have a problem with, but everybody is kind of an idiot. I hope
also, like, they're barely adults in this show. So.
Fair point, but still, they are like. But it's not just them; it's kind of everybody so far. That's if they tighten the writing on this particular angle, the visuals are fantastic. I like the general designs and characterizations of everybody. I like the origin angle. So all of this, I'm seeing all the potential, which is why I haven't given up on it yet.
Here's my thing. I think the characters are written like season 1 She-Ra Princesses of Power. And here's the thing. She-Ra characters, when they're not having traumatizing events happen to them,
I mean,
kind of written a little bit dumb.
I mean, true, but maybe it helps covering it up because it's a complete fantasy world, while the Superman world is...
This is a little bit more real life.
Exactly, just very sci-fi. But then you have Jimmy Olsen can't cross a street without being almost run over because he's such an oblivious space cadet.
Like that in real life.
How are they still alive?
There are Jimmys in real. I don't know, Mister. I used to food poison myself.
Yeah, but I did that intentionally.
But like,
and I still would do it if I wouldn't be stopped from it.
If you didn't live alone.
If I would.
Look, if you had, I'm just saying, there are Jimmys in real life, there are Loises in real life, and there are most certainly Clarks in real life. I wish there were more Clarks in real life because, man, he's a good boy. He's not my body type,
please.
But God, he's dumb and cute. He just needs to be more of an asshole, and then he'd be perfect. But, like...
I mean, that's, like, your opinion, man.
Shut up, Zenny lover. But, yeah, so... Yeah, I recommend at least giving the show a chance.
Mm-hmm.
The episodes come out once a week. If anything, wait till the full season comes out and give it a watch. Maybe that will help you if that's just you're wanting to see how the writing tightens up. I'm in the full belief, especially with the streaming method that we have now and how shitty writers and everything have it. I've observed that a lot of shows that I've watched, even more so than the broadcast shows, like say Horse Program, you know, the writing, you notice a significant jump in the writing as the production goes on, because I feel like they have to get used to the characters in real time with stream writing, and that is so much harder than the production cycle of making a TV network show. So like and this show was originally meant for streaming, so I have a feeling like it suffers from that. I mean, fucking the new MLP show has that in spades because the new episodes are so good, and the newest ones were not. So And the writers will admit that it's because they had to learn these characters in real time with us, and it's like, oh, that sucks.
I think that goes for the hardest part for any show, no matter what, when you're launching the show, because your biggest thing is to sell these characters to your audience, to get them familiar with them, and it's a pitch. Season 1 is a pitch to the audience saying this is what you're in for, or at least a taste of what you're in for. And that's a lot of pressure to have, because it can ride or die on season 1. And so as long as you have enough to entice, like if it's in character dynamics, the writing may not be 100% tightened up, and that's okay. That's typical of any show. But as long as you have some granules of, again, something that entices the audience to keep coming back, and they have the opportunity to tighten up that writing later, then you're in for something good, right? So it allows that time for the writers to get familiar with the characters, for the audience to get familiar with the characters that the writers are writing for.
And then you can have that meme that's been going around of having the season 1 with this happy, goofy little guy, and then season 2 you have the really sad one that says lore underneath it. That's just how it is. But yeah, My Adventures with Superman. Give it a shot. I mean, especially, honestly, if you really like the old Superman cartoon that aired around the time of the Batman animated series, I think you would at least find elements that you enjoy. It has a lot of the lighter fare of the late 90s, early 2000s superhero shows. Anyways.
And yes, Odie, that is exactly why the second season of so many shows is so different and often better. That is correct. Because, again, the writers have to get used to writing for the characters, finding out how these characters work, and they end up reworking dynamics between characters through the creative process. So, and that may end up working in its favor by season 2. So, yeah, as long as season 1 entices you enough and the writers feel comfortable enough and they're granted the gift of a season 2, then that's why it's often better. So,
yeah. So there you go. I mean, this is always why I love getting Lauren on AWKWARDCast. I've met the one person who could talk as much as I do about this kind of stuff. 15 years.
15 years.
But yeah, shout out to the amazing fan art that's next to me right now.
This way, yeah.
It's super pretty. I love that, Abby.
You will not believe just how happy I was when I saw that in my notifications. I think the first thing I did was message Max being like, look what someone made!
Basically.
And it's so pretty. So for context, if people are like, why is she dressed like that? I'm making an animatic music video to Cody Fry's song, I Hear a Symphony. And I wanted to show concept art of the different dress drafts that I have of Abby on Twitter and stuff, and people really liked it. And I think the most ironic thing, this is not a diss towards the fan art, the fan art's gorgeous. I find it really funny that the one that got fan art is the one that has gotten the least people saying that they like. Because most people like the first dress, or the second one, in terms of the 3 concept arts. And then someone made this fan art, and now I'm getting a lot more people being like, so are you going to go with the third idea? It's like, now I don't know. I mean, I personally really love the first dress, so we'll see. I'm going to be adding elements from all the dresses into one at some point. But yeah, thank you for the fan art. I always love Abby fan art. That it fills my heart with happy. But yes, for that. But now we move on to the most important thing. What's with the face?
My keyboard is giving me a hard time now, ever since I had to unplug it earlier.
Ah, okay. But yes, now we must move on to the cues to give A's to them.
Exactly, that is the plan.
Also, I just saw what the FMK was, and oh no.
Boy, I haven't checked it out yet. Well,
we'll see.
We'll see. So far on Twitter, we have only our usual go-to by good old J-Rock. It is a would you, or a rather. I know, what a twist. Would you rather eat overly salty popcorn every time you are in the cinema, or never eat popcorn again? Oh, that's a very easy one for me since I don't like salt. I don't dislike it, but I prefer sweet popcorn anyways.
Repeat the question, sorry?
Would you rather eat overly salty popcorn every time you are in the cinema or never eat popcorn again?
Oh no, then I can't eat sweet popcorn, which is the superior popcorn.
Oh,
I can easily answer this because I just don't like popcorn in general. So I would just never eat popcorn again.
Yeah,
There. Easy answer for me.
Yeah, I would actually. I go for the same one. A, I prefer sweet popcorn, and B, it's a fun snack, but it's not a snack where I'm so engaged in that I'm like, oh no. I mean, it's a snack that you eat for liking it, and if it's overly salty, I have the feeling that even people who like salty popcorn will be like, I do not enjoy it anymore. Period. Why would I keep eating it? So yeah, for me it's also an easy pass because it's like
Now, see,
that
I
are
need to go
snacks.
with the contrarian answer.
Okay,
because
sure.
We can't have unanimous, even though I would probably pick just not having popcorn and get like a big pretzel or something. But no, you know what? No, I'm gonna go with the overtly salty popcorn, and you know why?
Because
here's my reason why. Let's say I'm going to a Marv, right? And fucking one of the Hemsworths, you know the one, is on screen doing his thing, or there's a Jason Momoa like up there. How do they constantly look so ripped in the scenes? I have read those interviews. It's because they don't drink water and take a lot of salt for that bulk. And as we all know, I am on my journey to just be a buff magical girl. So with that, I will just
dehydrate.
While watching those inspirations, I will actively dehydrate myself, but I will have something to focus on with the movie. And when I leave the movie, I'm going to look fucking yoked. That is obviously the correct line. Don't look at me like that.
I can't argue with
You've
this
said
logic.
dumber things with more
Absolutely,
conviction.
Absolutely, and you called me out on those, so I will just let you hang there.
But look, Lauren, I can't play to the table below here, so I'm gonna play for a win up here. It's been shown in those interviews, you look at interviews, you know the movies, that they just take a lot of salt when they're on set to look as ripped as they do. So wouldn't the logic make sense that if I have a really salty thing, that it would be the same thing?
Too much sodium kills.
So does too much water.
I mean, yes.
Too much of anything kills.
Exactly.
What about love?
Definitely.
Oh, how have I not?
No, well,
Ever
it depends on
Ever-
if it's physical love. If you can squeeze somebody to death. So I mean, that.
Come here, let me give you a hug. But
anyway.
But yes, there's my bullshit logic. So we didn't have a unanimous answer. Good job there.
Well,
anyways, to the Discord.
Also adding on, I hate kernels in my teeth from popcorn.
That
Number
I
one
do
thing.
not like.
Yeah.
It is like getting a splinter in your gums. It is awful.
I've
hate
met
it.
people
Don't recommend.
who like to eat popcorn kernels, and I'm pretty sure that's I don't want to make assumptions, but I'm pretty sure that's a sign of a serial killer.
I'm like,
it was a walk to get there, but we got there. Okay. So let's see. Next question. Here we go. From Evolutionary Prince. You three get a literal boatload of money to open and manage a restaurant in any way and style you want. Who does what? What would be on the menu, and how long would it take before that place either gets social media famous or has to shut down? Okay, guys, we have to work together on this. What will be the Three Idiots restaurant? Obviously, the restaurant's going to be called the Three Idiots restaurant.
Excellent. I'm with you. Can anybody cook here?
I guess.
I can.
Okay.
I mean, no, it has to be us. We have to be the cooks.
So yeah, Abby in the kitchen. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, Lauren's gonna be our cook. But I guess, like, Lauren, what are you good at cooking?
I can do a curry.
I can do a variety of things. I've done. I can do grilled meats. I can do fish. I can do
Okay.
And also I've
curry
experimented in different. If we wanted to do a ramen bar, I could do that. Different kinds of proteins and different kinds of styles of ramen with different, maybe experimental ramen, like fusion ramen. Because then you could do different toppings. Like I've done pork belly. I've done like braised pork belly, like marinated braised pork belly with all the caramelizations on top, and then you put that on the ramen.
Stop it. But like,
what?
Okay, but I'm hungry. But we got ramen. So we're going to be leaning towards the Asian flair. But there is one problem here. I'm Italian, so I'm going to like most.
Who's to say we can't do Italian fusion?
No, like I was going to say, like most white things, I'm going to colonize your ideas and put my own things in there. So we're going to have curry and meatballs, and and ramen bolognese, which is just ramen noodles, or something like that. However,
that's just pasta. That's just pasta bolognese, just changing the noodles.
Shush. The millennials that are going to make TikToks about this place don't need to know that. But look, the main thing is about this is that we just need to have some kind of theme, some kind of kitsch, some kind of thing to really wrap the customers in. People don't go to restaurants for food anymore. They go for... I wish I had one of those suits with the really wide shoulder pads, because I'm talking like a fucking 80s person. Just like, they don't go for food anymore. They go for the experience, the atmosphere. So what would be our thing? I mean, besides idiocy, which we could just hire waiters and stuff to fucking trip over and ruin the food all the time.
I'm like, I know it's not as huge a thing anymore, but I feel like there's a lot of people that go, I want to go back to it because there's not as much of it anymore. Theme dining. That's kitsch.
Yes.
Think like the rainforest cafes of our time.
Yes. We need to make a restaurant that would get such a big franchise. Eddie Burback and Ted Nicholson travel to every location.
We need our Margaritavilles. We need our rainforest cafes.
Obviously, me and you, Lord, are not creatively inclined at all. Max, what is the theme for our restaurant? I had to make you contribute to this question somehow.
The theme is...
That's not copyright infringement.
Okay. Now, now we are going. Now we're getting somewhere. So, since we all three are big lovers of animation, it will be animation themed. However, as you just said, it must not be copyright infringement, and we have artists. So basically, it will be stuffed full with images and figurines and of knockoff famous characters. So it will be the Karate Panda, and it will be
Michael Mouse.
No, it's Karate Kangaroo. You can't have it be a panda.
How to train your wyvern. How to what else do we have? Coral Steve round shoes. I don't know. The Chinese bootlegs, right?
Right.
What's a good bootleg of Sonic?
The Tiger Emperor instead of Lion King.
Oh no. The King's new jam is the Emperor's new crew. Oh, this is an amazing idea for a restaurant. We can call it the Knockoff.
I was thinking that too.
That would be perfect with the fusion cuisine because it's just slightly off.
Well, we have an actual good idea now. Shit, what are we going to do with that?
Oh, we need to go to Shark Tank. We need to go up to Mark Cuban and be like, look, we came up with a great idea.
Look, you guys signed off on human pet beds. You signed off. You can sign off on a restaurant about knockoffs.
Oh my god, that would be... And you want to know the most fucked thing of all? If we come up with all the knockoffs, we could trademark the knockoff, so they're technically not.
So nobody can use them. We can use them, and nobody else can.
It's like Disney doing the Ugly Sonic, because that's their own trademark. Ugly Sonic from the Chip and Dale movie is a Disney trademark. Oh, this is a fantastic idea. Okay. Anyways, next question, because this would be the whole stream. Okay, so we don't have anything else on Twitter, right?
Nope.
Okay, Denim asks, whether you want to call them wiki walks, deep dives, or going down the rabbit hole, we have all found ourselves suddenly delving into some random niche we found online. What rabbit hole have you gone down the most recently? And it also says safe for internet, so I can't go on my rabbit hole of looking up the Wikipedia pages for weird kinks, because I get astonished that they have Wikipedia pages.
I guess Magnus Archive doesn't count because it's just a series with stuff related to it. Also, I'm just reading on the wiki what I just listened to be like, what? What is this referencing?
I mean, I guess, like, you know...
What standalone rabbit holes?
I mean, that's a hard thing, because I've been going down a lot of TV tropes rabbit holes where I look up things I like, and then I look up the tropes, and then I go to a trope, and then I see the other examples of the tropes and stuff like that. Honestly, I guess this is cliche from an animation fan. One rabbit hole I've gone down recently is the production of Emperor's New Groove. So, like, the Sweatbox.
Good old Sweatbox.
Because, like, the whole production history of just how awful the production history of Emperor's New Groove is so fascinating to me, with how good the movie turned out to be, but how it was going to be something completely different. It was going to be The Prince and the Pauper. Like,
I wish we could have gotten Kingdom of the Sun in a different form.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be funny Cusco Man.
It was going to have Owen Wilson as his twin,
though.
Which
is
is
the worst thing of all. But yeah, so I guess most of my rabbit holes are just the productions of things and movie productions, so I'm just gonna say that one's mine for the sake of convenience. No, actually, fuck that. I went down a rabbit hole about Hard Rock Cafe recently.
That sounds like a legit one.
Now, well, because I was watching Ted Nivison and Eddie Burback's video about going to every Margaritaville, and I was like, okay, what could be their next one? And I looked up Hard Rock Cafe locations, and not only was I like, oh, there's one in Hawaii, which will make this road trip a lot more difficult, I also found out that the Hard Rock Cafe is owned by a Native American tribe, and that, like, it got into on the Wikipedia it says that there was a controversy. What was the controversy of? Not a musician or anything. They got flack because when there was the invasion on Ukraine last year, the Hard Rock Cafe was one of very few companies that didn't pull their business out of Russia. Mind you, a bunch of European countries were like, we're not fucking with you anymore, and caused an energy crisis. But Hard Rock Cafe was like, nope, we don't care where you're from. Here's some apps. Like, and that was really funny to read on the Hard Rock Cafe's Wikipedia page of the invasion of Ukraine.
I mean, this is the worst what they have accumulated in their entire history. I mean, compare this to Chick-fil-A.
I guess, but, like, I don't know. Like, you are not the first person to be like, oh, that's all? It's like, that's all? The fucking being okay with, like, working in a country that is committing
didn't somebody
crimes?
Didn't somebody point out that it's a franchise?
All?
Didn't somebody point out that it's a franchise? So basically you have an independent business owner being part of the franchise, probably a local.
But I feel like the franchise itself, like, the people could be like, you're not allowed to use our business name and stuff. Like, there's probably stuff behind that. But still, that was my two rabbit holes. Kingdom of the Sun and Hard Rock Cafe. What about you, Lauren? Have you gone down a rabbit hole recently?
There's technically 3. One is more just watching a show that I feel like I regret having not watched it before because it was really cute. But the other 2 are like literally YouTube rabbit holes. One of them is the history of Broadway productions.
Like
and
Waiting in the Wings?
Yes, I love Wait in the Wings so much. I could spend hours just listening and watching Wait in the Wings and tons of different channels do it, but Wait in the Wings is very good with the video essays. Like urban explorers going through like abandoned, not just abandoned places in general, but I mean like abandoned theme parks, abandoned entertainment centers. I think if I remember, it's Bright Sun Films who does a lot of really good stuff on like the history of places, and they do it. It's like a mix of their videos are a mix of urban exploring and like diving into the history of a place, so that you're learning about the place, how it started, what happened. If it was something like there was a hotel that was completely abandoned during COVID. And it never came back. It's just still sitting there, and everything's still in place. But they talk about the history of the hotel before it became like, I guess it was kind of like it became like a Quality Inn Suites or what, like Holiday Inn, whatever kind of like generic place. But the history of the place is that it's a hotel older than that. So it started as a family-run place, that kind of thing, and then only recently changed over into like a bigger brand, like it was bought up by those people. But then it was left abandoned, so you still had like tables set from just when COVID hit, and then you still have tables set with napkins and silverware still sitting out, and you had
the rapture happened.
It's very eerie, and like a whole nice piano just sitting out in like the lobby, just sitting there like a baby grand piano just sitting there, and untouched for like a few years. Or there's places that or I think in the same hotel, they had what you could tell was originally an outdoor courtyard, and then they just applied a roof over it. And so they turned it into an indoor convention center. So you had the rooms, had rooms around the edges of it, but it was all covered by this one big roof. And you could tell it was like kind of thrown on at the end to make it into this quote convention space.
What is it? This is a YouTube channel, you said?
Bright Sun Films. Highly recommend them. They dove into the abandoned. They had a Hard Rock, I believe it's the Hard Rock theme park or Hard Rock theme park, and then they did one for like an abandoned water park that was out in like Bakersfield or something like that. They do really cool things about like talking about the history of a place, where it's at now. And then they show tons of footage of, comparing where it was before when it was running and now where it's at, if it's still untouched. And there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. But I could spend hours with that channel too. But anyway, the third thing was Care Bears.
I saw you make a little Care Bear.
Yeah, I saw the doodle too.
I'm like, shit. Why didn't I? I'm like, I'm the kid that was, again, there were certain shows I was into when I was a kid, and then there was also the ones that came around the MLP era, where I was late to the punch on sort of late to the punch, like 3 years late to the punch on Pony, when Friendship is Magic came out. But then there was like also like Welcome to Care-a-Lot and stuff that came out around the same time, and honestly, it is so cute and handles so much in ways that I was not expecting Care Bears to handle it. That I'm going.
I really shouldn't be like, okay, come on, it's Care Bears when I was literally a
no, like genuinely, like there's still a whole bunch I still gotta watch, but Welcome to Care-a-Lot actually handles a lot of themes really well. Also, it's really funny because I was hoping there would be a moment of Taste the Rainbow Motherfucker, and there is one. Especially when there's like an episode that deals with a bully. Because they pull kids from the real world, from the human world or whatever, bring them to Care-a-Lot to learn a lesson. There is one where a kid and her bully are pulled into Care-a-Lot, and her bully basically is subjected to Taste the Rainbow Motherfucker at the end, and it is so satisfying. I was like, yes, let's go.
Okay.
I love the Care Bear stare. But anyway, but it's really cute. Like the writing is actually pretty tight, and voice actors do obviously a phenomenal job.
Yeah, like Doug Airholtz.
Yes,
one.
who is actually the best bear in the entire show. Not saying that with a bias. I literally Grumpy Bear is like, I think he's just like the most relatable one of all. I think just because we're all jaded adults. But
millennial bear, hooray!
He's the millennial bear. No,
he was
like,
jaded before it was cool.
Yeah, I'm like,
because I remember
I think
watching Care Bears in the 90s myself as a kid, and we had some movies on VHS, and yeah, he was grumpy back then already.
I was never a big Care Bear. I had Care Bear plushies, never watched any Care Bear things, so I just thought when I was a little kid that they were just toys. So when I grew old, literally the first time that I found out that Care Bears had movies was the Nostalgia Critic.
There you go. Again, that's where that taste the rainbow motherfucker came from.
So those were your deep dives. What about you, Max?
So I didn't have too much, but I remembered one which really has this kind of like from A to B to C. So I already follow a YouTube channel called Savvy Writes Books. And a recent video of hers was like an interview with Brandon motherfucking Sanders. And she opens it by being like, oh yeah, there was this news article where I just jokingly said, I would totally interview you. And then Brandon commented on it and was like, yeah, I would totally let you interview me. And I'm like, oh, there's this thing. Okay, going back, trying to find this news article thingy. There it is. News article video about Brandon Sanderson, where a very, very crappy news article was written about him. Like, not crappy as in it was critical, it was crappy journalism. This video starts with, oh yeah, so I already did my video on Brandon Sanderson a while back. Wait, what? Scrolling, pausing that video, opening a new tab again, going back, and eventually finding that video. Yeah, finding that video where in this video already Brandon is commenting, being like, hey, I actually am a subscriber of yours, and she's like, but yeah, so this was my literal journey, like just trying to watch a current video, first minute in, shit, there is a prequel I need to watch, going back.
More?
There is more lore to this one video I want to watch.
Good. You added lore.
But yeah, linking Savvy and Bright Sun Films down in the description below so you guys can check it out yourself. Because this is not the media section, this is the Q&A.
Alright. Now, I think we can do one more question, then we can do the FMK, because we went long with these questions.
Oh yeah.
So here's a good simple question. I saw this. X gonna give it to you asks. Thanks, Odie. Forget hating bad movies. What's a good movie you dislike? And I'm gonna take this because I know that is probably stealing Lauren's answer.
Oof.
But fucking La La Land. I don't care that it won a shit ton of Oscars. The movie's crap and you should feel bad. Like, it's not good. And also it has some weird implications about like what race and origins of certain genres of music, and it's like, you really want to take this step here?
Ryan Gosling as the white savior of jazz.
Yeah, like, look, we all love Ken, but like, he should just be.
This was years before Ken, so
yeah, the Ken origin story. But yeah, I don't like, and I think the music in La La Land is kind of mid in the
City of
way.
Stars should not have gotten didn't it win the Oscar for like best original song? It should not
Oscar
have
away
won
from Moana, which made me mad.
Yeah, it should not have won.
And
I'm sorry.
Well, also, La La Land had 2 songs nominated, which I think should just not be allowed. You pick one.
Yeah, you pick one.
You don't get an actor nominated for Best Actor for 2 movies, at the same time. Like, yeah, come on, get the rules right. But yeah, La La Land, and it makes me mad that the music's so bad because they did the music for Greatest Showman. I like Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
I like the music in Greatest Showman. But fucking, what happened? But La La Land's my
you had to get through La La Land to get to Greatest Showman.
La La Land fucking did like a very lazy, like not picking up your feet walk. So Greatest Showman can sprint.
They dragged their feet so that way to get the gum off their shoe. So that way Greatest Showman could run.
Yeah, but what about you, Lauren? What's a movie that that is regarded as a liked movie that you just like? No, can't vibe.
I know you said I took your answer. You did. Because I would have 100% said La La Land as well. I was so mad leaving the theater. Like, I felt like, you know what? I was going like, music's whatever. Choreography's kind of fun, though. Like, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to emulate the classic Hollywood style. I get that. It's trying to be a love note to Hollywood. But, oh my god, the whole love story was so butchered. And then they say, oh, but it's supposed to be an homage to, like, the classic love stories. And then it's like, but they don't end it that way. First of all, when I first watched it, the ending pissed me off. Going like, look, no, you're setting them all both up to be together. And if you're really going to be an homage to the classic Hollywood things, you're going to keep them together. Not have them go their separate ways. But at the same time, going, no, I had to digest that after, like, 20 minutes going, no, but wait, they were both horrible people. I don't care about them. So you know what? It's better that they were not together. But then you drug me through this whole movie, making me want to care about them, when actually I really didn't. I was only invested in it because I had to sit through a movie to watch it. And there was somebody who
so hard, and I got nothing.
There was somebody. Oh yeah. So yeah, there was somebody in my comments when I posted about La La Land the other day. That said it's a non-LA person's view of Hollywood. I'm like, yeah, it's going like this isn't actually how it works. There's a heavily romanticized, heavily fictionalized version of it. Which fine, whatever, the classic Hollywood stuff. At least there was some emulation of that's in the classic Hollywood movies, like those old ones that were like Singing in the Rain. They did actually show that's actually how stuff worked. Like, especially from the transition to the talkies from the silent films, that kind of stuff. Fine. And also, if you want to watch a really good homage to classic Hollywood, watch The Artist instead.
Yeah, no, the other Oscar-winning movie. Like, you don't need, that.
Go watch that instead. Anyway.
So I guess we're sharing La La Land here.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. Oh. You know what? No, I stand corrected. Another one I can put Brave. I'm sorry. To all the people that like Merida, she pissed me off. People like enough that they like Merida.
Okay,
there's people that like Merida. Fine, to each their own. That people like Merida.
Kernels? Like,
I just got really mad watching her, so that's why I go. I don't know how. I'm like, fine, to each their own if they like Merida, but I personally was really pissed off at Merida, and And then again, and also the first 20 minutes of Brave were promising. I was excited. I liked where it was going because you can tell that was the Brenda Chapman part of the story. And then they dethroned her, put a guy in her place, and then it was just bootleg Brother Bear after that. I'm like,
the moral here.
There's no bears in Scotland.
Things.
Yeah, and there's no bears in Scotland. I don't care how cool Mordu was. Mordu was cool, but it's still like I'm like. The whole point was the mother-daughter relationship. The whole point was the mother-daughter relationship, and I liked how they were presenting that in the first 20 minutes of the movie. Why'd you mess that up? So anyway.
I don't know. But yeah, so Brave and La La Land. What about you, Max? What's your hot take? Do we need to point a bunch of knives at you like the Eugene picture?
I mean there's of course my standing consideration that No Way Home is, but then again, is No Way Home actually a good movie in the first place, or is it just beloved because for all the nostalgia? I don't know. No, but it has good stuff going on, and but yeah, I'm still not a fan. Might or might not be writing a script about it, comparing it to Guardians 3 in regards to how to properly end a trilogy.
I'm sorry, 1 second. Chrissy, you are making me nervous.
What are you talking about?
Oh my
god. But yeah, maybe...
Well, I had a blender last night and I nicked myself. Right, like you could see that? That was from lightly brushing the blade and cleaning it last night.
Wow, that's
Just
so
that little bit.
unfortunate.
No. But
And
yeah.
someone went, no, why are you doing?
Anyway,
no,
sorry.
stop
Continue,
it.
Max.
Anyway, keep going.
But to go for my other I guess true cancellation take, even though I already brought it up on Awkward before, but Beauty and the Beast, original one, not Emma Watson. The original Beauty and the Beast. I tried rewatching it not too long ago. I fell asleep before the ballroom scene.
I feel like every time you have talked about Beauty and the Beast, you have watched it like recently.
No, it's the same time. I had it as a VHS as a child.
You can't say recently. That was like
Relatively.
4 years ago.
Relatively.
4 years ago was not recently. It was pre-COVID.
You have forgotten how old I am.
Remove the COVID years, and it is recently.
Yeah.
The time jumped in that time.
Exactly. First of all, COVID time doesn't count. Second of all, at my age, 4 years ago is recently. But no, I watched it up and down on a VHS as a child because we had all the Disney movies back then on VHS. This was pre-DVD. That's how old I am.
You're not special. We had VHS tapes too.
But you were old-fashioned.
No, I just.
But
had
DVDs
VHS
were
tapes.
literally not existing. That's what I mean. But no, but yeah. So I rewatched it, especially after watching the live action one, where I was like, who has
good old time?
Yeah, who has taken this plank of wood and painted Emma Watson's face on it and put it in a movie for some reason? No, but then I was like, okay, going back to the classic, and like. I was so bored out of my mind that I literally fell asleep, which I usually don't do doing movies. So
what we're saying is the next time we put on Beauty and the Beast for you, we need to have a jingly pair of keys.
No, that's for you.
No, you have to have the. No, you need to have like the ASMR videos going off on the side, or the split screens
to keep
of people
me awake.
cutting, with slime or cutting
sensory videos, like
the sensory stuff.
Like
we need to have, or the Subway Surfers or whatever the.
Or just let me watch Beauty and the Beast so I can fall asleep. Anyways, next question.
Maybe you should try that if you've been having trouble sleeping. Just put on the Beauty and the Beast movie. Just get your MacBook, play Beauty and the Beast, and you'll be out like a fucking light. Just
excellent. But the problem is I wake up too early. Anyways.
Keep it on. Put it on a loop. It'll just keep you asleep, and then you'll never wake up. But okay, good question, Odie. But okay, so now it is time for the FMK, and oh no. So, Evolutionary Princess. Since the miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir movie came out on Netflix this weekend,
really,
I am mandating this FMK to be a miraculous one, and you'll like it. So, with that being noted. Fuck, marry, kill, miraculous Ladybug dads.
Oh boy.
we have Andre Bourgeois, so Chloe's dad, the mayor. Tom Dupen-Chang, Marinette's dad, and Jagged Stone, Luca's dad. I already did Gabriel in a different FMK, and he's already established as worst dad of the millennium. Also, whoever has to kill Tom is a monster, so have a miraculous time with the selection. So we know who Nigma picks to marry, but you're not part of this. But okay, guest, why are you waving?
Because I like marry Tom.
Okay, well, Lauren, please tell us why you're going to do the things that you're about to do.
Look, he's a very good dad, and he is loyal. He's very caring and kind, and he bakes. I know I'm having my Anastasia and the Baker Boy moment kind of thing, but
he's also large and he can give good hugs.
He gives the best hugs, and he cares. And actually, there's actually really, I'm like trying not to go into spoiler territory, but he does have a very sweet moment where he tries to he basically tries to see where Marinette's going and make sure she's okay at this fair that's going on. During the movie, and he goes and sees her connect with Adrian, and he's just so cute. He thinks he's hiding so well when he's just got a bunch of balloons in front of his face. So no, it's a himbo dad. Okay, he's himbo dad.
Oh, Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good to, for once, not be the one to. I can be the one to say, "God, you have a type," and not have that said to me. Oh, it feels good
like,
to be
also,
the giver and
like,
not the receiver.
But I mean, he's dedicated too. Like now it's gonna be the other two. First of all, easy kill on this one. I'm sorry. Because Chloe exists.
So
I think we all know
Andre.
we kill Andre. Easy answer right there. Sorry, guys. This is nothing against the voice actors or anything.
Ruining Paris. Let's be real. He's probably single-handedly ruining Paris.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah. And plus, he runs a hotel and is a politician. I feel like there's a conflict of interest there. Anyway.
So speaking of type, why are you fucking the rock star?
Why? He's a rock star.
I mean,
I feel like that's kind of part of the. I feel like that's kind of part of the brand.
Normally, I demand more explanation, but this one was sufficient as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
I'm like, so it's jagged stone. I feel I feel like that's part of the brand. Also, he's not the best dad figure.
What are you?
So I can say that he is not the Mary type, at least for me.
That makes sense. But he's a fun type. Stop tossing.
But he's the fun type. He's good for a fling.
Well, who is there for answer? Who gets to go next?
I get to go next. I went last week.
So, are you going to kill Tom prematurely, or do you put this on me? Oh, she's drawing the thing again.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking at my options. Oh no. If I want to make you do a bad thing, I'm going to have to do a bad thing. Alright. So. I'm going to marry Andre. Am I attracted to him? No. So the no fucking answer. But, you know, he doesn't have a good taste in women in the first place. So the bar's already low for me to step over.
I don't think his wife is that attracted to me. She spends most of her time in New York, so I mean,
let's face it, she has another kid. That's not with him, and they're nearly the same age. That says a lot. But I feel like I would be doing a service to the city of Paris if I marry him, because let's face it, he's super incompetent. He can just be my puppet, and I could be the real mayor of Paris. It
wouldn't be hard. He doesn't.
Daughter and his ex.
He has no backbone, so that wouldn't be hard.
Yes, no backbone, just little strings that I get to play with like a marionette. So easy gold digger there. So, also he owns a hotel, because that's what mayors do. So I get to live the sweet life.
Then you're gonna kill Tom.
No, I'm going to kill Jagged Stone. Honestly, the man probably is close to killing himself. Not in the depressed way, but in the Jimmy Olsen walking into the street way. Because he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm pretty sure that if this show was meant for adults, he probably has done every substance. So I just think, like, this is a guy who wants to live on the edge and live life. What is the most exhilarating feeling than the feeling right before death? And let's face it, he's fixed his life, he fulfilled, he reconnected with his kids and everything. He's accomplished what he needs to accomplish. It's time to go. It's time for the final curtain call. So I'm providing a service. Also, his posthumous album will probably make sick money and help his kids. So I'm providing a service.
I can't argue with that, honestly.
I'm gonna fuck the bread man.
You wanna hide the baguette?
Look, God, he's so not my type. I have to really think about this.
That's why I'm cackling. It's not your type.
But here's the thing. Like, obviously he must make his wife happy, so he must be doing something right. And, I mean, look at the size difference between those two. I'm probably relatively the same height as Sabine. So it's like, at least it'll be interesting to see the mechanics of how this works. It's more of a science project than lovemaking. So like,
is it going to play out like the scene from Kronk's New Groove?
Basically, yes, it's going to be the baking bread scene from Kronk's New Groove.
It's groove tonight.
And also, I feel like whatever he does, there is going to be like hella aftercare in the form of giving me a bunch of fresh baked pastries and sweets, which I think is a win-win.
That's true.
I'm not going to say the joke that I thought of.
Yeah.
You get one cream pie, and then for aftercare, you get another one. I knew Lauren would like that one. But okay, Max. It is time for you to finish us off.
The worst possible answers for all three.
Uh-huh.
How do I spin this as a positive?
Let's hear it.
Okay. I haven't seen the movie.
Start with the easy one.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't seen the movie. So I cannot talk about any improvements to the canon over there. So I stick with the main universe, with the main canon. And in the main canon, looking at Marinette, she is a psycho. She is mentally not well. I mean, you cannot be an actually good father if you create this kind of creepy stalker hell child. So I'm looking through this facade of this nice loving husband. No, he's a menace, so kill that man. Easy choice. I totally, he had it coming for creating this kind of a monster. On a similar note, Andre, who has definitely not created a monster as a child. I mean, here I blame the mother. It's definitely this a strained mother who is... I mean, she clearly comes after the mother, so if she was up for the kill, definitely. But since we have poor Andre who is a victim in this entire situation, he needs a good fuck. Nah. He's definitely not getting from his wife. So this is me being charitable to one of the most powerful men in Paris.
And let's face it, Andre has some bottom energy.
He has. So nah. So I can totally see like if I go gay, at least I go with this bottom. And last but not least, Ragged Joan. I mean, Mary.
Ragged Joan.
Whatever.
Is this one of the knockoffs we're gonna have at the restaurant?
The stoner guy.
Lauren, can I commission Ragged Jones from you?
Sure.
I'm sorry, continue.
No, I believe this was as good as it gets. Not even being able to remember the name of my husband, so you know where this marriage is going. That is not going to be one of the healthy ones.
Do you take this man to be your lawfully wedded husband? Who?
Yeah, this ceremony will be hella awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward guests. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward guests. It's the awkward. Artwork and analysis which you do not want to miss on awkward.